When I was a college student, I graduated from the physics department first, and then I went to study law for 2 years. And during the time, I attended the Japan America Students Conference, JASC, 38th JASC, and I went to Chicago, New York, Boston, Ann Arbor, and so on. And I had a really wonderful time discussing things with the American delegates, together with my Japanese colleagues. And we discussed gun control, affirmative action, and Japan America relationships, of course. And I was on the table of international relationships, and I gave a paper on the concept of a nation. And at the time, I was a physics major first, and then I became a law major. So there were two different cultures, and it was an interesting time. I went back to the graduate school of the physics department after graduating from the law department. So it was a great time of transition. And at the time, it appeared for me that the concept of the nation, is not self-evident. I mean, people usually start from this idea that there's the United States of America, there's a China, there's Taiwan, Japan, Korea, Europe, not Europe, sorry, England, UK, France, and so on. So, people talk as if these, you know, givens, and we are classified according to the nationalities. Like there's this French guy, German guy, and American guy, Japanese guy, Chinese guy, and so on. But at the time, it didn't appear so self-evident to me, and I felt that there was a need to redefine the concept of the nation from a graph theory point of view. How people are connected to each other, and information flow point of view. I mean, so for me, it appeared that, for example, if there's a state media, television, and radio, a newspaper, and so on, and within a particular region, there is this really tight connection of information, and across some border, there are less. Exchanges of information, then this would be effectively the border of between two nations. And so I felt the need to define the concept of a nation from functional point of view. So that was then, and this is now. And it appears that the concept of nation, which is from my point of view an illusion, an artifact, is as strong as ever. If you look at what's happening after Nancy Pelosi visited Taiwan, it appears that many people actually believe in this concept of the nation, and as if everything in this universe to be understood in that context, and which for me is rather absurd, to say the least, because we are here, and of course we are um, biological species which make up a lot of fictions and so on. I'm not advocating for anarchy here. I mean, I accept the nation as a practical machinery, so to speak, to coordinate the businesses and lives of this on this earth. But at the same time, I do feel that it is worthwhile to sometimes question the very foundations of the concept of a nation. And I think it is more up to, for example, if you look at the confrontation between Russia and Ukraine, it would appear that this very concept of a nation state, which with its own territories and with its military and with its politicians and so on, the root cause of this evil that is the war. And if we get free from this assumption, this illusion, maybe we can solve some of the problems that are going on in the world. Russia and China, Russia and Ukraine, and China and Taiwan. So uh, the events in the international affairs in the last couple of days reminded me of this paper that I gave at the Japan America Students Conference, and unfortunately, I don't have that copy here. Probably it will be difficult to locate that, but anyway, I think this kind of feeling that there's something amiss about this very concept of nation is very much alive in me today, and as it was in some decades ago, and when I was a college student, and I do have this fundamental objection to the assumption that the world affairs could be streamlined on the strength of the concept of nations. And, that's what I felt looking at what's happened between Taiwan and China in the last few days.